To the full Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It's 1:49 p.m. that is Central Time, and today is January 2nd, and it's of course Friday, so it's the big picture long-term audio and video for the various different asset classes. And I guess since we are at the beginning of 2026, it just behooves us to perhaps spend some time thinking about what we can expect from this year. Well, I think one of the big lessons that we had from 2025 was that currencies really matter. And that point was really rammed home by the performance of ex-US assets relative to US assets. Now, there are two, I think, rather important themes and then a subplot as well. On the one hand, you had a pretty strong performance from the US indices, and particularly anything relating to the AI sector or the AI infrastructure sector, and the extent to which that then also affected industrials, the chip manufacturers, the energy sector, anything that had a direct correlation with the enthusiasm around AI, that did well, and that's true regardless of what country that was in. But the other point, of course, is that because the dollar was weak, particularly weak at the beginning of the year, and then failed to rally in the second half of the year, that had a significant impact on the performance of ex-US assets from the perspective of a US investor. And of course, then it also had an impact on the performance of US assets from the perspective of an ex-US investor. Well, we can see that most particularly when we look, for example, at Mexico. The market was up 28.5%. In nominal terms, in US dollar terms, it was up 47%. Then in the UK, the FTSE was up 20% for a domestic investor, almost 31% for a US investor. And the FTSE 100 got to test the 10,000 level for the first time ever in here today. Then, of course, you can see that there was a very strong performance out of Spain, where a domestic investor still walked away with 49% and a foreign investor, or US dollar investor, with 71%. Now, I said that there were two ways of thinking about this, or two plots. One is that there's the currency, but then there's the additional point that of the ex-US assets that did particularly well, I think that they are primarily falling into three categories. And those three categories tell us a lot about what's animating the market at present. And it gives us, I think, a pretty good idea of what to expect going forward. So we obviously have the AI sector. And Samsung, for example, came out today, and you had the CEO announcing in New York that Samsung